I'm Tracy Loosemore, and I joined Meals on Wheels in 1996 as the Marketing and Quality Improvement Officer, and then later joined as the Executive Director. I met the Executive Director before me, Sue Hillis, at a networking event, and she was talking about all the services of Meals on Wheels, and I thought that sounds like a cool place. And of course, everyone's heard of Meals on Wheels London. I definitely think about the volunteers when I think about Meals on Wheels. The volunteers at Meals on Wheels are so passionate and motivated to help people, and I loved hearing their stories. I loved hearing about their walks of life, and I loved just hearing about how they wanted to help the clients so much and would bend over backwards for that. So that's a memory I will always think of. That and them driving through snowstorms, smoldering heat, any weather conditions, they were there for the clients, and that's something that I'll always remember. We also couldn't do it without staff. Obviously, there's lots of stuff required to, make sure that our meals are nutritious, make sure that transport to medical appointments are coordinated, and just make sure our clients are well taken care of.
My name is Beth Morrow. I have been a volunteer for 32 years at Meals on Wheels. I first heard about it on the radio. It was during my summer vacation, and there was something about a need for drivers, and I thought that's something I could do. That is why I became a volunteer for Meals on Wheels. I found it very satisfying to once a week do something that helped somebody for just that little bit of effort. It felt very satisfying delivering meals, as I said. Like some of these people, it was their one and only contact for that day. I would encourage others to volunteer for Meals on Wheels. I volunteer for another organization in town, and there's really no comparison into the way Meals on Wheels treat their volunteers. Well, I think it's a great, wonderful cause. I mean, here are these people who, many of them can't get out of their place, and somebody brings a meal to them, has a little chat, it makes their day.
The partnership between Meals on Wheels and YOU we've been doing for a little over 6 years now. It is so important to us at the You Made It Cafe. We have skills training youth in the back of our kitchen. You can just imagine if we were trying to train them on, for example, how to make a pot of chili, if we didn't actually have to make a pot of chili that day. So it's huge teaching the kids knife skills, organization, ordering, things that you don't think of, and it helps them to get the skills required to get a really good job out in the community. We have partnerships with other catering, but Meals on Wheels has been consistent, they've been supportive, and it's really important to the You Made It Cafe. We've also had an opportunity to send a couple of our youth out on delivery with a couple of the Meals on Wheels volunteers, and when they come back to the kitchen and they call the customer by their first name and say, "Oh, June really appreciated this aspect of the meal." Susan's really good at providing us with extra feedback so we can improve wherever possible. Youth, some of them haven't finished high school yet. They've managed to find themselves in a difficult position, so they'll approach an employment counselor through our head office. We can help them get their grade 12. We can help them get housing. If they're on Ontario Works, they can come straight into our training program. So just to see them comfortable, thriving, and then having them go out into the community and be successful, it's amazing.
My name is Lynn Mclaughlin, and my uncle, Thomas Hogg, uses the Meals on Wheels service for both the meals as well as transport. My aunt at the time was living at home with my uncle, and my uncle had a stroke and could not drive, so they started utilizing this Meals on Wheels for the actual meal service, and that's how they had started utilizing it before things had changed in their home environment. Meals on Wheels provides a great transportation services. What they do is they do a pickup as well as a drop-off, and you can be for any type of appointment, and they can also time it for around your appointments, which is nice, right? And it allows my uncle to have independence. He doesn't have to rely on family for every single thing. And the nice part is that he gets to meet different people. So it's a bit of the social aspect as well. It's included when they actually get a transport. Since accessing the Meals on Wheels services, he's much more independent. He's actually being able to go and visit my aunt on a routine basis. And he actually gets to know the people. like I said. It's actually a social aspect for him. He's gained confidence, right? He can actually make the calls and he can actually cancel things on his own now. I do a lot of it, but he can do it on his own if he needs to.
My name is Anastasia Premack, and I go by the name of Ann. Most people call me Ann. And I've been with Meals on Wheels about a year, a little more than a year. I knew that they delivered meals to seniors or whoever needs it. And then I found out that there was transportation. So I had called transportation to find out what the deal was on going to appointments and whatnot. And then I started to get your notices telling us of, or informing us about the luncheons. So that's how it started. One of the first ones that I took, I had to go to Victoria Hospital to the E-building. And I had a very nice lady that picked me up in a van and dropped me off. She picked up another person that day also, dropped me off at the building, and then I had my appointment. And then I had her number, so I called her when I was ready. And then she came back and she picked me up, and it was very, very nice, and then brought me home. It's not only for the meals, that the meal preparation and the meal delivery to your home. There's another aspect to it. There's the going to the doctors or your appointments, or it's obviously medical. That you can get there and back, and you don't have to worry about the bus. They're there to help you.
My name is Marta Vanderhoff, and I use the service of Meals on Wheels for my mom, Betty Francis. Ironically, my mom used to deliver for Meals on Wheels many, many years ago. For quite a few years, she and her girlfriend did that. And so when my mom got to the point where I felt she would benefit from meals, I contacted Meals on Wheels, and surprisingly, the person that answered the phone was someone I knew from my childhood, and it just went from there. So the hot meal service is a hot meal delivered to the home as many days a week as you would like. I think the minimum is 2 or 3. You can call and order the meals ahead of time. You can order them a month for the whole month. You can order them a week ahead of time. Now I go online and do it. So it's great because after I order the meal, I get an email confirming the dates and the meals that are coming. And I pass that on to my sister, who puts it in my mom's calendar, so it's very easy to access. Oh, it's been wonderful for Mom and for us. It's one less thing, we don't worry about it anymore. We know she has a hot meal every day, and my mom thinks the meals are great. The other thing I love about it is that it's people contact. It's someone coming to your door every day, so I know my mom has access to seeing someone every day, and if Mom doesn't answer the phone, we get a phone call, so we would know if something was wrong or if she just missed the phone call. So it's been very, very helpful. But what I do without Meals on Wheels service, I'd have a lot more work to do, because even as it is, I usually provide my mom with 2 or 3 meals a week just to have on, in the fridge. The other thing that we recently accessed are the frozen meals. So that's awesome because she has meals in her freezer if she needs something extra, or sometimes she'll have what comes to the door for lunch, but she'll have one of the frozen Meals on Wheels for dinner. So it's worked out really well.
Okay, we are Bob and Amy C. Boyer, and we've been clients at Meals on Wheels for probably a year and a half. I believe we heard about Meals on Wheels through either the Alzheimer's Society or our family doctor, but I think it was the Alzheimer's Society. They were very good in giving us information for the help that we might need. The lunch bunch is once a month. We go to a very nice restaurant, and there's usually about 20 in our group, and each month it's a different restaurant, but always a very nice place. And it's a wonderful opportunity to meet other people and to have a social life, which we don't always have because of our life. But quite often one of the people from Meals on Wheels will sit at our table or sit close to us, and that makes conversation a little easier. And they're always so friendly and interested in us as people. We don't get out a lot because we don't have transportation unless Meals on Wheels or some family member takes us. And it's just a really nice, something we really look forward to. It's a nice occasion to have a social life. Drivers, they're amazing too. We always thank them because that's a big commitment for the volunteers to make. They always come to the door, and if you need any help, they always reach their hand out to help you. They get you in. If you need help with your seatbelt, as my husband does, they belt him in, and they make sure we're comfortable. They always ask us if the temperature in the car is right, if we need it colder or warmer. Yeah, they're amazing people, and we're very grateful for them.
If you're thinking about supporting Meals on Wheels London, it's a wonderful opportunity. These people and this association gives back to the community, to people that cannot do these things for their own. What it does is it allows them to have access to services, meals, things like that. What it does is it also allows for people to stay in their own home environment, which is really what people want to do, rather than having to go into some type of alternative accommodations.
Oh, I've recommended it to lots of people. I think it's awesome. It's easy and it's inexpensive and it's great food and it's just a huge service for the elderly.
Happy 50th anniversary.
Happy 50th anniversary.
Happy 50th anniversary.
Happy 50th anniversary, Meals on Wheels London. And in celebration of 50 more, I encourage everyone to get engaged at Meals on Wheels London, either through the gift of time or financially supporting such a great organization.
Happy 50th anniversary, Meals on Wheels London.